favorite programs. Download the KAWC KOFA app from the Apple App Store or Google Play Store. Stream us online at kawc.org or borderradioaz.org, or ask your smart device to play KAWC or KOFA.
What's up, Yuma? I'm Johnny Porter.
And I'm Victor Calderon.
On today's program, we are going to be joined first by Shayden Aguigui. She is an AWC volleyball player right here at AWC. She's also the Student of the Month, and she'll be sharing her journey from Hawaii to Yuma while balancing athletics, photography, campus media, and student life. As well as Toby Maples. He and his wife, Susie, they're both the owners of Maples Apothecary, and they'll be talking about building a family-run plant and candle shop, balancing careers and parenthood while creating a welcoming community around plants and creativity right here in Yuma, Arizona. So stay with us for What's Up Yuma Radio, beginning right now on KOFA 94.7 FM.
And streaming online at borderradioaz.org and on the KOFA app. You can also view our show on the Border Radio Facebook page and the KAWC YouTube page. And don't forget, you can reach out to us by email at whatsupyumaradio@gmail.com.
Chili from Philly, Nick Papa Giorgio from Yuma.
Johnny Show! What's up, Yuma?
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to another episode of What's Up Yuma Radio. I'm Johnny Porter.
And I'm Victor Calderon. And Johnny, so every now and then we like to share what we're doing on the other side, on the news side. So I was wondering if I could do that this morning before we start.
Victor is the real deal. He's a real journalist. So yeah, he has another job that he does over there at the KAWC side, 88.9, correct?
That's correct.
All right. So what are you up to over there at KAWC?
Yeah. So I had an interview yesterday with a guest, and we're going to have her on. So people know we do the Arizona Edition show every Saturday morning that comes out, and it's online as well. But what I talked about was I met with Roxanne Barley. She's with the Kokopah Indian tribe.
Okay.
And the city of Yuma just did a proclamation for murdered, missing Indigenous women and relatives to honor them and to remember them. So it was a good interview. So we'll have that coming out on Saturday, and then we'll have it up online over next week.
All right. So how do you typically get these interviews or stories that you want to cover?
Yeah. So, anywhere and everywhere, right? So sometimes people will let us know if they're going to have something. Other times you will see something on like Facebook or online. We'll see a press release and follow up on that. So, yeah. So for this, I think, it's pretty cool because A, it's City of Yuma. B, it's a proclamation. And they do a lot of proclamations, but this one's, especially important because it's important to the Native community. It's important to the greater community. And so we got into what that means, what the proclamation says, how it came about, and things like that.
All right. And I have one more question.
Yes.
Did you learn anything out of this interview, something that maybe you didn't know, something that surprised you?
Right. So we hear the news reports, right, about these missing women, and maybe we don't hear about, some of these cases, right? They don't get publicized as much. But it's important that the city is, and there aren't any like specifically local cases to Yuma County that we know of, but just within Arizona, there's been cases of missing women. And so it's important to highlight this. And so we'll share that with our Arizona Edition show.
I just, in my own personal experience, I had a friend that was a police officer, I believe it was at the Kokopah Reservation area. And he worked on a case for a missing, a woman that was about to be sex trafficked. That it was somebody, a 15-year-old or 14-year-old girl. They thought it was her boyfriend on the other side of the internet sending messages and this and that, and we meet up at this hotel. And thankfully there was a good ending to that. He went and he was able to find her at a hotel outside of Phoenix. But so that's cool that you're able to cover that and kind of highlight that what's going on.
Right, very much so.
All right, who are we here with today, Victor?
All right, so no easy transition, but our first guest today is Shay Aguigui from the Arizona Western College volleyball team. Thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Good. I'm glad you're excited. That will help the interview tremendously. So you came in and you got a really good introduction from Scott saying that you're one of the all-stars. You do a lot, not just for volleyball, sports, all around media, and we're going to get to all of that. But first, we're going to get to you. So you're from Hawaii originally?
Yes, so I'm from Aiea, Hawaii, which is located in Oahu. And so that is kind of what I call it is like the tourist island just because it's bigger on that end. but it's a great place. I love it.
There's a lot of vowels with that, right? Is that what I'm
O's and I's
O's
and apostrophes, and she's near Honolulu for people that.
Oh, okay, cool.
that have
So
been to Oahu.
that's a little bit better. But okay, so you're born and raised there?
Yes, so I was living there my whole entire life, and then wound up here.
What was it like growing up in Hawaii? Like it's a destination spot. People want to go there.
Yeah.
They want to visit. Victor asked if I've been there, and I cried a little bit, and I said no, I've never been there. But tell me what it's like growing up in Hawaii.
No, yeah, it's great. Like the people there, it kind of reminds me of here, which is kind of why like I chose here.
Say what?
Because it's like in Hawaii, it's known as like, even though it's a bigger place, you have a very tight community.
A tight community.
You always know someone.
Yeah.
So like even though I was only here, this is like my first year, I know people who aren't even from here. I know everyone who works around in Yuma. That's like kind of like at home. It's like someone always knows someone, and it's a beautiful place.
So it's similar because you said community, and
Yeah.
Yuma being Yuma, which is it's a tad bit isolated, right? You have to go either Phoenix or San Diego, 2.5 hours away to get to a bigger city, or Tucson to the east, or however you do it. So we have to kind of work together. So you're saying it was similar in Hawaii.
Yeah, it definitely is. Like for me, it's like where I go, I want to be able to know my community. I want to be able to help them, and I can do that at home, and I can also do that here, which was just a big bonus.
All right. So sports, have that always been a big thing in your life? Were you always running around doing something?
Definitely. I actually started off playing basketball and volleyball.
Okay, basketball and volleyball. All right.
I tried soccer for a little bit, but running just wasn't for me.
No,
outside.
you're not. Okay, yeah.
It just wasn't for me.
Running is not for me anywhere. Inside, outside, it doesn't matter. Running is not for me. I like a nice
Like
little...
I can run inside, but once it was the outdoors, I was like,
Oh, really?
It's not for me.
Oh, okay.
Like I loved being able to make goals and stuff, but just the fact of running outside and on the grass was way too much.
So growing up, you're into sports. So which one was it first, volleyball or basketball?
I honestly don't remember because they were both kind of around the same time,
Mm-hmm.
but I did have to give up basketball. So there was a, which one is it going to be? So I gave up basketball to continue volleyball because of club. So club is very time demanding, so I wouldn't have been able to do both. So I was like, you know what? Let's give volleyball a try. Let's do it.
So was it that type of decision? Like, all right, I'll just go there. It was like eeny, meeny, miny, mo type of thing. Like,
I kind of did like basketball a lot. Like, I wouldn't say I was the worst player, but I definitely don't think it would have gotten me far.
you wouldn't get as far in basketball.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have. So I chose volleyball, and there were some patches where it did get hard, so I did stop playing eventually for like a year around COVID time, but I've been playing for like more than 10 years now.
So volleyball, and you said you had a more of a natural talent for it, something that you kind of fit in better. What was it about volleyball that you were like, wow? Because you're talking about scoring goals and soccer, that where you spike it. You're one of the ones that bam in your face.
So
okay, cool.
When growing up, you kind of play like everything, and I just loved the feeling of it. I loved the people. Because, like, growing up, I played for, like, a Parks Recreation League, something like that. And so my coaches were literally my uncles, aunties, dads.
Oh, cool.
And so it was just, like, more fun. And then we got to play, like, more of it going into club. And I just loved how it felt. I loved being able to just be on the court, like, that environment, like, stepping into the convention center to go play in these huge convention centers with, like, 50-plus courts. And I was like...
Really?
This is where I want to be.
Oh, okay. So you like a little bit of the limelight about it. You just some of the adrenaline about playing in front.
I get a huge adrenaline rush because I played every position, but now I'm mainly a libero defensive specialist, and I just get the biggest rush when I'm playing. Like,
Okay.
Just like the fact of, I don't know why, it's so weird. Like the fact of just being hit by the ball.
What do you
and
mean
being
get hit by the ball?
Like when I
That's
go to
dodgeball. That's it.
like when I go to dig a ball, it's like when I get that up, I'm like, let's go. Like this is it. Like this is me. Like this is for me.
So, okay. So, yeah. Now, I've had other volleyball players on here, and they said they kind of, do you rotate positions and stuff like that early on? You get to a taste for all of them?
Yeah. So growing up with the Parks and Recs, you play everything. But then in club, I was actually more so of a pin hitter. So I would play outside, oppo. Then for a while, they had me in the middle. And then I transitioned to libero and defensive specialist because of my height, but also because of injuries. I was not able to jump as much as I did before. So I was like, I need to take a step back. Like if I really want this to go farther, I need to make a switch now. If not, it's going to be way harder to get recruited.
So jumping those up in front, protecting the net or in front, you know, doing the spikes that you love to do. Now you said because of injury, you had to move to the back?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was around, I believe, my junior or sophomore year, somewhere like that. Because this is only about, like, going into my sophomore year here, will be about my 4th official season playing just back row, something like that. It feels like so long ago, but it definitely took a toll on me because I loved hitting, but I knew I was considered very undersized and I just could not jump as much as I could before, and so I just wanted to preserve my career over forcing myself to play a position that I know wouldn't have helped me in the long run.
So you had to create, or not create, but you had to have a very adult decision about it.
Very early on.
Early on because of injury, and you said, you know, you're not able to jump, the height, you had these things, and you said, I want to protect this. And then, so when you get into the position that you are now, you said it's a defensive position?
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about your position.
So my position, I pretty much like to describe it as don't let that ball drop.
All right, don't let it drop.
Don't let that ball drop. It's always been my mindset, like no matter what, like I've gone into chairs, people, like if I have to, I'm doing it. I'm just gonna be like, sorry after, but like in that moment, if I tell you duck, hopefully you duck, because if not, I'm going out there.
Wow. So hold on. So in like you could go outside of the court and get it, or how does that work?
So
if you save it, you know. Okay.
So there's certain like restrictions, but in club, you can, so long you're on the mat before you like go off. Like both feet have to be on it before you. It's something like that. I don't know if they've switched it.
There's a rule, something to the effect, and you're able to kind of jump, and then you could save it, and sometimes you end up in somebody's lap. Or,
but I think in college too, depending on like what type of court you play, the same rules apply, because some of them have like courts where they put the court on it, but ours is just a regular court, so we can literally go as far as we can, run into the back wall, run into the stands, like. Don't get hurt.
Yeah.
But you can.
Don't get hurt and don't let that ball drop.
Yeah, don't get hurt. Don't let that ball drop.
Those are the two specifics for your. Now, so I've watched the volleyball they do on the beach, and where they go and they dive right in the sand. Do you still dive for it, like on the hard concrete floor or whatever that is?
I've ran into a light pole, and I. Kind of like before in one of my clubs, we would practice outdoors. So we kind of had no choice. Well, I personally didn't care. I was like, if I have to. Like, I'm not going to let any restrictions stop me from improving my skills. So if I had to dive on that floor, Band-Aid after.
So what is the floor? Is it like a basketball court floor? Is that typically for the most part? But then when you're practicing, you're saying you don't always have that option.
Yeah.
And you're
growing up, I didn't.
But you would still dive.
Yeah. So that's why I'm kind of like not scared to dive on the indoor
court. You're used to it.
I've dove into worse. Like beach volleyball too. It's like mouthful of sand, mouthful of dirt. Like what's worse than hitting the floor on the actual court?
So all right. So then you started to kind of get a groove for that position because the adult decision that you had to make. Now you're feeling good about it?
Yeah. So I would occasionally play the back row, as a hitter, because usually that's what they do. They play the entirety, but you still have your main position, which is hitting. But I also, my senior year of high school, so not even that long ago, I was also a setter. So I was a setter, oppo, defensive specialist my senior year, and it was fun. Like, being able to try every position was really fun. Like, I think if maybe I had been setting for a while, I would have also pursued that position. But I think for me, just the libero DS spot was just something better. And I honestly don't regret my decision at all. I'm really glad that I came to that decision when I did, because that gave me enough time to fully train and be able to be recruited for that position, because I was already late to my recruiting. I didn't start till like later in my junior year, going into my senior year. Didn't commit to AWC until like mid-April. So I was really, really behind.
So that's where I want to lead right now. So how'd you end up here in Yuma at AWC?
So I was at a tournament in Vegas, and I was kind of, like I said, I was already late in my recruiting. And so I was just emailing like crazy, coaches after coaches after coaches. And eventually I had emailed Coach Chandler, which is our head coach. And I was like, hey, like, I'm playing at this tournament. I'm very interested in attending AWC for both athletics and academics. And so much like happened. Like, we just started talking, and then I would send my film, and eventually, next thing you know, I'm committed here, and I'm on my way flying up to San Diego, driving down to Yuma.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So how'd you find AWC? Was it like you alphabetically, like you're going down, you're like Arizona?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
No,
I
I honestly don't remember. I just like, I think I was just looking at a lot of like 2-year schools, like JUCOs, because for me, like, my mentality too was go to a school that's going to be the best fit and that's going to help you grow, especially because this was only like my 3rd season playing as a lib, and I feel like I've grown so far being here compared to if I had like went to some other school. Like, I wanted it to be somewhere where I can grow and where it can help me become not just a better athlete, but a better student too, which helped because I felt so much academic pressure in high school, and here I still felt like some academic pressure, but it wasn't to the point where I was completely burning myself out.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk a little bit about your academics here and get into some volleyball. All right, and how this season went, or when it starts, or what's going on. We're going to find that out after this break, though. We're going to do that right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
There is so much advice about decluttering, like the Marie Kondo method, where you ask yourself, does this item spark joy? Well, donating a vehicle that you don't need anymore to KAWC and Border Radio is an easy way to help us bring you the programs that bring you joy. And it's a great way to declutter. Learn more at kawc.org/cars.
You're listening to 94.7 FM. The weather forecast for Yuma today is sunny with a high near 99 and a west wind around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear tonight with a low around 65. Siendo Primero, Sahi Bárcenas spoke with Ela Peterson, the current director of faculty development and a professor of mathematics at Arizona Western College, about the mentors who guide us. To listen to the interview, visit kawc.org/news. Stay tuned to 94.7 FM, KOFA Border Radio.
From KAWC, this is Siendo Primero.
Oh, classes are over, and it's time for a summer break.
We are taking some time to rest and prepare new topics for the next semester.
But you can still listen to all of our past episodes at any time.
This show is available as a podcast or online. Just search kawc.org under the show's tab.
Have a great summer, and we'll hear you soon on Siendo Primero.
I use KAWC almost on a daily basis in my car. It's the background for chores around my house. And I go to the website and look for stories that are of interest, and I listen to podcasts. I look to the news on NPR because I'm looking for something beyond the headline or a soundbite or a gotcha moment. I really want news that shows me sort of the multiple dimensions of a story, that seeks information from multiple sources and doesn't tell me how to think. It just presents the issues, and I really appreciate that. Being a sustaining member of a service like KAWC takes the mystery out of it for me. So I know that I am supporting every month I also know that I don't have to remember to sit down and write a check at the end of the year or a budget for a check at the end of the year, right? It's kind of coming out of my account every month, and that makes me feel a little bit like I'm part of the team. I'm Lori Stoft from Arizona Western College, and I'm a proud supporter of KAWC Yuma.
Why is music an important part of your life? For many of us, music lets us see the world from someone else's perspective. We can find community in hearing someone else's joy, sorrow, or hope expressed in song or melody. KOFA Border Radio is your local, non-commercial source for great music.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up, Yuma Radio. We are here joined by
Shay from the AWC Lady Matadors volleyball team.
All right. So, yes, this is your time to shine, Victor, when we get into the technical part of sports.
So, let's take a break from sports for a second. So, you're a student athlete here at AWC. Let's talk about the student part of that.
The student? Yeah, let's get into that.
Yes.
So, tell us about your major. What's your major and what you're studying here?
So I am studying under the AA program of psychology and sociology, but my main focus is in the psychology department.
Yes. And so what drew you to that major?
I would say just the fact that I do struggle myself with mental health, and I want to be able to help people who were not able to get the support that they needed, financials, whatever it may have been, or feel like they can't get help. So I want to be able to give back to that, like either make my own private practice, whatever it may be, so that way people who feel like they can't afford it, or feel like they can't get help or they don't deserve help, can find a place where they can.
And what do you think you might like to do with that, possibly as a career in the future?
Yeah, so I would definitely want to do those things as a career. I'm looking into clinical and forensic psychology, but I do have plans to do a double major in sports media, sports management, things like that, because that is also something I'm very passionate about.
Yes, and we'll get into, you're very involved with the sports. So as we mentioned in the first half of this segment, you're from the volleyball team and you're from Hawaii, and you wanted to come to Arizona Western College because of the small community.
Yes.
And you also felt that it was a good program, and so you said you've learned a lot. Talk about the team and how the team did this past season.
So my team, we did pretty good, Obviously, every team has their bumps in the roads. We unfortunately didn't get to go to nationals, but our team, like my returners and everything, my fellow incoming sophomores, like we have plans. We want to go to that national tournament. Like we want to beat our teams in our conference because we have competition. We know we do. So we want to be that team that's on top.
And so we've talked before about how the team is like international, right? So you have players from the U.S., from Hawaii even?
Yes.
Talk about the makeup of the team and how that works together.
So we had a lot of players who were not from the U.S., but it honestly is just such a good experience because you get to see the stuff that they learn from where they're from. They get to see what we learn because it's different. Like I've seen people who train differently in different parts of different states compared to Hawaii. So it's very fun in a way too because I'm learning these things. I'm learning their languages. They're learning our language, and it's just this big thing, and it's just so amazing because you wouldn't really expect this anywhere else. But here we have such a big mix of cultures and everything. So you're learning everyone's cultures, everyone's languages, their skills. Everyone has something to provide to the team,
And it's not just volleyball, right? It's every sport where it's
every
international.
Sport.
And we've had players on here from Mexico and France and Ghana.
Yep,
just from
everywhere.
the soccer teams.
Yep.
Yeah.
Soccer has a lot.
Yeah. So how'd you decide to get involved in sports, right? In the sports department here at WC? And tell us what you do as well, please.
So mine is a work study program because for me, I did need help with the money part. And so I landed the job under my coach, but I've been working a lot with Scott. So I'll do photography, which honestly is such a big accomplishment for me because it does end up on the national pages for the NJCAA, photos of the week. So I have photos on there. It's used in the news here. They sometimes take my photos, put them on the covers. it'll be on Scott's post for our AWC Matadors page. I use them for our sports teams for their pregame posts or their after the game posts. And I run a lot of their just like game days, final scores, everything like that. I have to do some posts for commitments and different things like end of the season recaps. So it's really fun. I get to like be creative. Like Scott tells me like, do what you want, like have some fun. And then I'll usually post them, tag players, bring up their interactions from less than 30K to over 100K by the end of the season. And we have a bunch of future players I get to see, future recruits, every parent, because like we mentioned before, it's a lot of internationals, so their parents don't get to be here, so they get to see every update minute, like it's game is done, post up, like done.
And you were telling us that you multitask, right, during like even some games, right? So how does that work? Because you said you're like on your laptop and you're like announcing. So
it's honestly, it was such a mess at first because I was like, how am I gonna do this? So I'm doing the public announcing, which I'm saying center fielder, number, whoever, up to bat, and then immediately mic down, camera up, photo, and then around, if it's like a 7-inning game, around the 5th inning, I'll kind of start uploading photos, because usually by then they'll probably put new players in, so I'm like, okay, SD card back, photos, upload again, start, if it's 9 innings, then by the 7th inning I'm doing that, and then I'm also like helping with scoreboard or music because I was taught how to do all the different things, and I helped a lot with like walk-up songs and stuff. So for a while I was like stressed out. I was like, how do I manage all of this at once? But then after a while you kind of find your groove, especially because they had so many games, which I honestly, it went by fast, but I'm still so shocked about how many games they had. Because, like, for us, we don't have that many games, and they have so many.
Yeah. I have a question. The announcing part, like, how did that come to be? And how did you have the courage or the confidence to do that?
I honestly don't remember. I just remember, like, being told, hey, we need help with, like, the announcing for softball and baseball. Because before, like, in the preseason, softball also needed some help because they didn't have their announcer they have at the time. Great announcer they have. Love her so much. She helps me a lot with my PA. So it kind of helped me. So then I started focusing on just baseball. So every game I'd be there, doubleheader games, single games. Right after class, I'd go to straight after class, straight to the field, tap out Coach Roberto, start doing the PA, so that way he can focus on the stats and stuff. Because it's harder when they have games during class times, because then all of our schedules, like it depends, like who can work, who can't work. So I'd be like, okay, if my class ends earlier, booked.
Wow. And you can do it all, right? And you still find time for studying, right? For studies.
Yes. So I was fortunate enough to be accepted into the honors program here. So I will also be a part of that starting next semester. So that'll also be another addition to everything.
See why you got student of the month. It's starting to build and all make sense to me right now, because you do a lot, and it sounds like every challenge that is kind of before you, or not even just even challenge, but I would say opportunity, you seem to take those.
Yeah, I try not to pass down on an opportunity because I'm like, you never know what you like if you don't try it. That's kind of like my mindset. So like for me, I kind of like school. I know people don't like hearing that, or they're like, why do you like school? But I'm like, if you enjoy school, it'll be so much easier.
You know, I see, here's the thing. I would like to enjoy school. That would have been a cool thing. I look at other people. It's like, wow, they have very nice things because they went to school and they're a doctor, and they, and I just didn't have that. I didn't have that in me. But if you have it, but that's a great thing to like, right? Definitely. Because what was it about the school that you liked? Tell me.
I just it was kind of like my escape from everything, and I just always found myself just being drawn to being able to do school and help people with this. I used to help tutor kids back home. I still kind of do it now. Like, I'll help so many of our players that I know that I'm, like, close with, or even if I'm not close with, I'm like, hey, if you need help, because, like, for example, like, let's say someone's not good in English because that's not their first language. I'm like, you need me, tell me a time, whenever, I'm there. Like, I'll help you. Like, you don't need to stress out too much. Like, I will help you with whatever you need. Math, so long it's not anything with shapes. I can help you. I can help you with that. But it's just I've always loved being able to help people too. So it's like if I can focus hard in the class, and I can help whoever with it. Yeah. And it's just been really fun. Like, also too, like, I just understand how the school system works. So I've helped so many people make their school schedules, because I'm like, don't forget, register for your class or you're going to be in a harder class.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm like, if you're not doing it also, you won't graduate. So I'm like, get on it, please.
Wow. So you have a big heart. That's great that you're doing that. And most of the people that are recently that we've interviewed is everybody that's leaving. But once again, you're going to be a sophomore, so you're sticking around for a while. Okay, so we get to still see you around here.
I will be here next year.
All right, and you want to accomplish that going to nationals, right?
Yes.
That's a big accomplishment you're going to do. We're going to be watching you, Victor and I. We're going to see what you...
We'll go to a game or two.
Yeah, you know, and I want to see you make that happen.
It's great. Especially, like, our games against our rivals. So, like,
Who's your rival?
Eastern and Central were two really big games. Like, we had, like, a theme. We had giveaways, prizes, everything. And it was just, like, the whole gym just felt electric. And it was, like, our whole baseball team was there doing the worms, screaming, dancing, line dancing. And, like, you have your cheerleaders, everyone. You have softball there. You have soccer, if they can make it, like, after the practice. Basketball.
Everybody's there cheering you on, huh?
Everyone's, like, it's usually a really big thing. Like, volleyball, you have almost every sport there, minus soccer, just because they practice during that time. But they'll always show up after practice. Like, they're there, practice uniform, everything. And I love them for it, because they always showed up when they could, which was just
Scott's going to have to let us know when those games are. So.
Sounds like we need to have What's Up Yuma there.
Yeah, we need to be there. Absolutely.
Social.
We've had, like, so many, like, mini prizes and stuff, like, just, like, to give to people. So, like, we had, like, Kane sponsored, I think, once. And so we had, like, these cool, like, pink shirts, pink sunglasses. Like, I remember we did that for soccer, and I was like, I'm taking this, and this.
Oh, yeah. So we got to wrap up right now, though. Thank you so much for being with us. Tell everybody maybe if they could find you on Instagram to follow your journey, if that's appropriate.
My Instagram is... I have my volleyball one, which is, you can just look up my name, Shayden Aguigui, or I have my personal, which is SHVYBVE. But I'm not too active there, but I'm hoping I kind of get back on it. But I should definitely be posting on my socials soon.
Well, you have a bright future ahead of you. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
All right. And with that, we're going to take a break. Who are we coming up with, Victor?
Toby and Susie Maples from the Maples Apothecary.
All right. We're going to do that right after this. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
The KAWC Student Newsroom is funded by the Local News Initiative at the Community Foundation for Southern Arizona, the Scripps Howard Fund, and by generous local support. Thank you for supporting the next generation of public media. Learn more about the project and hear stories from emerging journalists at kawc.org/student newsroom.
There's a lot of new music on this week's Retro Cocktail Hour, including vibraphonist Mark Riddle's album Dark Rituals, and a new one by the Tiki Yaki Orchestra. I'm Daryl Brogdon. Join me where the music is always shaken, not stirred. The Retro Cocktail Hour.
Saturday evening from 7 to 9 on Border Radio KOFA.
From KEWC News, I'm Cisco Stargazer. Arizona Western's Entrepreneurial College has a new executive vice president, Dr. Shadi Kilani. Kilani has more than 20 years of leadership experience in higher education, healthcare, and workforce development. As executive vice president, he'll lead workforce and healthcare program expansion while strengthening partnerships across Yuma and La Paz counties. In a recent email interview with KEWC, Kilani outlined his top 3 priorities: strengthening workforce pathways, expanding access and flexibility for students, and deepening partnerships that support both student success and regional economic growth. His approach centers collaboration, responsiveness, and working alongside students, faculty, and community partners. He said, quote, "I believe community colleges play a critical role in expanding opportunity," end quote. Dr. Kalani officially assumes office Monday, May 18th. From KAWC News, I'm Cisco Stargazer. And yes, as a quick note, AWC is indeed our license holder.
I'm Maria Hinojosa. Next time on Latino USA, I speak with Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Caitlin Dickerson of The Atlantic. She breaks down the latest news about the conditions children held in detention are facing and why some mixed-status families are choosing to leave. That's next time on Latino USA.
Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. on KOFA Border Radio 94.7 FM.
I'm Mike Suba, and I'm a big supporter of KAWC. You're getting a great source of information about our community, about the people that are working and living here, and you start going, you know what, this is really a valued service. And that's the great thing, is you've got a partnership here. And I'm a big believer in partnerships because the one thing I realized early on in life, I can maybe do a lot of stuff on a very limited basis, but when I start partnering up, it's amazing what we can do when we pool our resources. And so I hope that when people are listening to the station, enjoying the news broadcasts and the entertainment shows that are being presented, that they realize that you're not only the end user and enjoying what's being broadcast to you, but it can be a partnership too, where you can participate like I've discovered I can do and help get this service, enhance it, and provide even better programming. I'm Mike Suba, and I support KAWC.
If you're tired of listening to long commercials before finally hearing music, look no further. We've got you covered. Whether you're searching on your radio, trying to find an app to play some tunes, or need background music playing on your computer while finishing up some work, KOFA Border Radio is your non-commercial place for music.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up, Yuma Radio. We are here joined by
Toby Maples, owner of the Maples Apothecary.
Thank you for being with me.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So before we get into everything that you do over there, at which we're going to, I guess, clear up maybe some confusion of why the name is the name. You said there was a little bit on that. You wanted to show homage to original business, where I think I've originally met you at.
Yes.
We're going to get to that. But first, we get to know the man behind it. All right?
All right. Well, first and foremost, I have to say it's not just me. You know, my wife, Susie, she's a huge part of it. And, yeah, the store wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. It kind of works out. I'm definitely the plant guy. I'm if it's alive and green, it's generally on me. If it looks pretty and it looks nice or it smells good, that's all her.
All her.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
her. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
so it's a good teamwork.
We're definitely going to get to that part too, but I'm talking about, where did you grow up? Are you from here in Yuma?
No. Originally, I was born back east. I was born in Arkansas, spent early childhood there. Moved out to Arizona in, I think it was about the 5th grade.
Okay.
Yeah, and then did a few years in Phoenix, a few years in Flagstaff, and then I've been here ever since. So.
Okay, so then moving around, military or anything specific thing, or?
No, I get asked that a lot. My mom worked at the hospital in Phoenix and the VA clinic, and basically every few years she would get offered a promotion somewhere, and if it was sort of close and it worked out in our favor, we would end up just moving along with that. So basically, it was kind of like 5 years in each place.
Oh, wow. Okay, so what was it like growing up originally in Arkansas?
It's awesome. You know, you hear a lot of weird stories about Arkansas.
Yes, you do.
And the weird stereotypes and all that.
Yes, that is.
but it's very green, it's very lush, very humid. But man, if you like the outdoors, you like hiking, you like water, anything like that, fishing, hunting, it's a great place to be.
So is that where you get your love for things that are green? Because you moved to the desert with it's not a lot of greenery around here, but was it because that fondness for where you grew up?
I think that plays a huge part of it. Because when I'm here, in the back of my mind, I'm always, thinking about back home. I still kind of consider that home, even though I've been in Arizona far longer than I was ever in Arkansas. But we spent a lot of time traveling back, spending time with my grandparents. They had 100 acres in the middle of the Ozark Mountains. So just creeks, ATVs, mowing 100 acres on a tractor with a brush hog. Yeah, that's how I grew up. So
all right, and so the Ozarks. You're next to the Ozarks or something. That you're the second guest. That's pretty cool. Who was it?
We
Was
had
it
Eric from the city of Yuma. Yeah, he was saying he grew up in Missouri and near the Ozarks.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The definitely. Director of Parks and Rec.
Okay.
So over there, lots to do. So were you at the younger age fishing and doing those things
absolutely.
too? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Absolutely. I grew up basically with a fishing pole in my hand with my grandpa. That was lots of fond memories, going to ponds and creeks and lakes in Arkansas every summer. Whenever it was warm enough, we were out there fishing. So
you're around this, and then your mom says we're going to Arizona. And where was the first place in Arizona?
Phoenix for about 5 years.
Phoenix?
Yes.
What was that like for you for having that transition?
Definitely a little bit of a culture shock, but when you're young, there's not much you can do about it. You just roll with it. And, probably, I'm sure I was upset for a little while, but just like everything else, you settle in eventually and adapt.
So what'd you do? Like, there's not, you're in the city, right? You're in the city now, and there's not that many creeks. There's maybe a canal or a ditch or something.
I think I attempted the canal fishing, but there was a couple parks with ponds that I remember going to. And, I believe at the time my parents were definitely supportive about, trying to keep that a hobby. So they would take me to the stock ponds and stuff at the parks and stuff. Yeah. So that never really went away. It was always there. For sure.
So then is it like culturally different? Was there a little bit of, and I know you were young, but from what you could remember.
I think as a kid, you don't notice it as much. But now, traveling back as an adult, we went back a couple years ago with a group of people from San Diego for a relative's wedding in Little Rock. And everyone was so shocked at how nice and friendly and outgoing all the people were in Arkansas. They were almost taken aback by it. They were almost weirded out by it. They're like, are we about to get kidnapped? That sort of thing. They were that nice, and they're not used to that.
So
in San
pleasant
Diego.
to be around, and I've heard that. Yeah, definitely from San Diego, even San Diego to here.
Yes,
there's a big difference. People that have moved to Yuma are like, wait a minute, why is everybody so nice here?
Yeah, and the gradient from here to there is even more stark. I think.
Really,
it's something else. People, especially people here, people there, they're not used to that level of friendliness, that level of hospitality. Kind of throws you off at first. But yeah, it's a cool thing to experience. Makes you want to stay a little bit. So.
Yeah. Okay. So then you're here, and you're also a firefighter.
Yes, so I've been on with the city of Yuma for about a year and a half now. So I'm definitely new firefighter.
So new, okay.
Yes, yeah.
So when you were younger, what did you want to do? Did you want to be a firefighter? You want to work with plants? Because that's what you do. It just we'll get more context to that later, but
or something else.
No, neither of those things really.
Neither,
okay. Neither, cool. Absolutely not. Yeah. So growing up, man, I was tiny. Like they thought I had some sort of growth defect. I was scrawny. I remember when I graduated high school, I think I was 5'3" and weighed just under 90 pounds.
Wow.
I was a miniature guy, and so being a firefighter, police officer, stuff like that never ever crossed my mind at all.
Okay.
And plants I liked, but I never had it in my mind I was going to be in the plant industry. Yeah.
And then so what was it, or what did you want to do? What was it that
I was always so confused. There were so many options. I was one of those guys that just could not make up my mind and dabbled in a little bit of everything. I always loved hands-on stuff, the trades. I enjoy building stuff, wiring stuff, playing around with solar stuff. You know, I have so many weird little projects going on always in the background. But stuff like that has always drawn my attention. Woodworking, you know, just...
So something, with your hands. Like, okay, then that would go hand in hand with plants, right? You get in there and get in the soil.
Oh, absolutely,
and doing that. And so it's with your wife that you have this business. So where did you guys meet, you and your wife?
You know, so I went to Yuma High School for 1 year. The way that it worked out, I moved down here from Flagstaff. The credit system was different. I ended up being a year ahead in credits just by moving to Yuma. And at the time, didn't know anyone. I didn't really want to be here. And they offered, hey, you can get out of here a year early if you want. So I was all about it. But in my junior year, someone in one of my history classes set me up on a blind date with her best friend. And that's how Susie and I met.
Wow, a blind date?
Blind date, yeah. And I guess I got to give a big shout out because in 4 days, it is our 15-year wedding anniversary.
Oh, wow. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, thank you.
So you blind date and you guys just hit it off from there. That's what an interesting story. I don't think I've ever heard anybody get married off of a blind date, but maybe
well, maybe I'm the first then.
Well, yeah. As far as like personally, I've never heard that. But
yes.
Okay, so you and your wife, you meet, you hit it off, and you become like, well, I guess high school sweethearts. And even though you're kind of getting out there you're early. Yeah. And was she into this stuff, like the greeneries and the?
I think she always enjoyed plants. She worked at a furniture store here in town for a little bit, and she always had kind of a knack for decorating.
Yes, because that's what you said. That's her side of what takes place.
So she always had an interest in that, and part of that was, you know, staging stuff with plants and furniture. So yeah, she was always picking out my furniture and rearranging stuff and moving stuff around and making it look nice.
Okay, okay. And then I just want to, before we take a break, your first business you had was a CBD place, right?
Yeah. So
tell me a little bit about that and opening that up.
Yeah, so that was something that I got into. Long story short, I had met someone online through one of these forums, and his wife was sick and had Lyme disease, terminally ill. He sold his company. He was doing round-the-clock care for her, and he was talking about seizures, you know, multiple times a day, bedridden, all this horrible, terrible stuff, and she was only a few years older than me at the time. I had read an article about CBD and how it had helped people with seizures. And problem was he was in the Bible Belt. Even CBD was completely taboo over there. So I was visiting my parents in San Diego, and I picked some up and mailed it to him. And he called me back the next day, super excited. And he basically said that her seizures from one day to the next were cut in half.
Wow.
One day to the next. Yeah. And he said, look, I don't want to jump to conclusions yet. This might be placebo. She might just be having a good day. But I want to monitor this and see how it goes. And he called me back crying about a week later, just saying the amount of difference it had made. And he was the one that told me, he's like, you need to pursue this. There's something to this. Even her doctor is whatever you're doing, keep doing it. I don't care what it is, keep doing it. So that's kind of how I got into that industry.
And how long did you have that business?
It was a couple years. It did really good the first year, and then COVID hit, and the majority of our business was winter visitors, and we depended on that traffic. And then when COVID hit, everyone was afraid to travel, and the sales plummeted by probably 70%.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a pretty big shock because it went from doing really good and sorry, chair malfunction. Yeah. It went from doing really good. We were surprised. We pretty much almost broke even our first year in business, which was pretty good in my mind.
Oh, that's very good.
To losing 70% of our sales the next year because of COVID.
And you guys were over there where that big cowboy was, right?
Yeah,
over there.
Yeah, Westford Village.
Westford Village.
That was our landmark, the big cowboy.
Cool. So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to talk about everything that you're doing now.
Yes.
And then, how do you say the name again, Victor?
The Maples Apothecary.
Apothecary. There we go.
Yep.
We're going to talk more right after this. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
North End Community Center is now accepting registration for the Senior Season Pass program. Volunteer instructors are on site to assist with art programs that include wood carving, painting in all mediums, and more. Tuesday mornings through October. Information at yumaaz.gov under Parks and Recreation.
The weather forecast for Quartzsite today is sunny with a high near 97 and a west-southwest wind around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear tonight with low around 65. Sunny in Parker with a high near 100. Clear tonight with a low around 65. And sunny in Yuma with a high near 99. Clear this evening with a low around 65.
I'm Public Radio Runner. Join me for Bonus Smiles, the show sharing the stories and playlists that fuel runners. Why? Because the rando cheering you on at a mile 77 aid station is the same kind of person who supports local public radio. Join us every Saturday at 5 a.m. on KOFA at 94.7 FM for stories that soothe and jams that power long runs.
Tom Hacksaw Colson had a 2008 Ford Escape Hybrid that lived a previous life working in photo radar. After using it for years car camping, Tom's car died right outside of Parker. Rather than tow it, Tom donated the car to Border Radio. If you'd like to donate your vehicle, running or not, visit borderradioaz.org/cars.
For over 55 years, Border Radio KOFA has been a voice for music and culture in the region. We play indie, soul, funk, world beats, and more, plus local stories and live sessions. Tune in live at 94.7 FM, on demand at borderradioaz.org or on the KOFA app and discover your next favorite song.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up, Yuma Radio. We are here with
Toby Maples. So you're talking about how you have the CBD business. What was that business called?
It was called the CBD Apothecary.
Okay. And so take us to how you get from there. Obviously, you closed that business. And tell us how you got to own and open the Maples Apothecary.
Yeah, so it was a little bit of a sad story. I mean, not sad, a little depressing. But so we had this business that was doing great, and then COVID hit, and then everything just kind of plummeted. And after that, we survived because we had low overhead. Our spot was pretty cheap, but we were just kind of breaking even and not really making any sort of profit, so just scraping by. And after a little bit of that, we both, Susie and I, we talked, and we kind of made the decision, hey, we either need to just give up on this entirely or pivot dramatically. And one day when we were kind of mulling things over, we went for a walk in downtown Yuma, and we just happened to turn through the 261 Main Street shops where we are currently. And that building had been shut down for quite a while. It was vacant, nothing going on in there. And we'd always looked at that, and there was a for lease sign. I had called I don't know how many times because we always wanted to be downtown. So we kept calling this number. Maybe it'll be open eventually. But we went for this walk with our child and took the stroller through there, and it was open. And we're like, hey, I didn't even know these had opened up yet. Went through, and there was a vacant unit in there. There was no sign up, no for lease, no for rent, nothing. And Susie and I kind of looked at each other, and we're like, we're gonna pursue this. We had talked about pivoting to plants because we both enjoyed it so much. And what had happened was at the CBD Apothecary, we had decorated with a ton of plants. I mean, there was plants everywhere. There was antiques everywhere. And every single day, it seemed like we were getting multiple people that were, hey, can I buy this plant? Sorry, it's not for sale. It's ours. And it just happened so much that we were like, you know what? Maybe this is the pivot we needed. So we kind of came up with this plan. We were really hesitant to get into a business with such a perishable inventory, something that you had to be on top of every single day. Otherwise, you're just losing a ton of money. But we came up with this plan to pivot, and it was something that we both loved and enjoyed. We reached out. We found out who owned the building. We got a hold of them, and we just kept on it until they got back to us. And we started reaching out to suppliers. We traveled around Southern California finding greenhouses, and did our first plant order which at the time we thought was huge, but looking back, it was tiny. It was absolutely tiny, and we thought it was massive. And now the orders we're placing dwarf that. And we've had to upgrade vehicles and all that just to keep up with stock. So it's going great.
You sell plants and candles. How do the candles come in?
So at the old shop, Susie had started making candles. It was kind of a side project she was working on, and they were doing pretty good. Everyone liked them. We were getting really good feedback, but that particular spot had no walkthrough traffic. So people just kind of happened to find them that were already in there for something else, and they would see them, buy them. We'd get really good feedback, but it's like, man, we're not getting these out to the masses. People aren't seeing them. And once we started at this new spot, there was so much more foot traffic, and the candles started blowing up. We were getting awesome feedback. It's just we've had multiple people come in saying, "Hey, these are the best candles I've smelled," and then we say, "Hey, we make these here," and so that's been her passion for a couple years now, and it's been, especially with this new spot, it's been doing really well.
Yeah, and I know a spot like this has to have a certain, I don't know, lack of a better word, like a coolness factor. Mm-hmm. It has to have something that makes people want to purchase it, because you can almost get a plant anywhere to a degree, right? You go to Home Depot and stuff. But I got to say, when you go into your place, and I guess hats off to your wife if she's the decor person, it has a whole aesthetic, something that's very pleasing to when you walk in there, and you kind of feel like, and that takes time to cultivate and put together, and it was thoughtful. Did you guys go into that with that in mind?
She did.
She did. Okay.
Yeah, she absolutely did. She had this plan that it has to make you feel a certain way, because like you said,
that's great.
Anyone can go to Walmart, Lowe's, or Home Depot and buy some of the same plants we sell. And there has to be a reason that draws them in, and a lot of it is her design, and that, like you said, that feeling you get when you walk in the door that makes you feel, I'm not in the desert right now.
Mm-hmm.
I am somewhere else.
Yeah, and so I'm a marketing guy. I've been doing marketing forever, and I love that. I love that when I could see something. Like even Cafecito has it.
Yes.
Like there's certain people or business owners that say, okay, I'm going to do this. And then it becomes where now I want to be associated with that, right? And it becomes like you're in the club where it's like, where do you get your, oh, I get it here. Like, why would I get it? Well, you could get it maybe cheaper over here, or you could do this. It's like, why would I do that? Have you been there? And it creates its own culture, right? And so you probably have a lot of regulars and people that love to be associated, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And me going in, I couldn't see that, but it was always her vision.
It was always her. Very cool.
Always her vision. And, a lot of times I complain because she wants to move stuff around constantly. She wants to redecorate, redesign. And, I give her a lot of grief over that, but at the same time, she always tells me, it needs to be different. Every time you walk in, something new has to catch your eye and keep people, into it. Keep them guessing, and that's her thing.
That's so cool. I really I guess hats off to her for doing that. And so you said you like the green, so you're making sure you're keeping all of them alive.
Yes,
that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you get to pick which cool ones you want to bring in, and
so. It's a lot of, as much as I hate doing it, it's a lot of social media and looking at the trends and keeping up with that stuff. And I try not to bury my face in the phone all the time, but with the plant stuff, you definitely have to keep up with what's trending, what the plant influencers on social media are talking about, what's hot right now. And that's not really my specialty, but I'm learning, and I'm adapting.
As long as you stay on top of it, like you said. So what all can we expect? The candles, the plants, anything else that you sell there?
Yeah, another big thing that's kind of taken off is we do a lot of framed insect specimens, which sounds a little weird. We had them as decoration at our old shop, and again, it was
people wanted to buy them.
Yes, and we're like, no, we brought these in. These are ours. We can't sell them. And now it's probably one of our hottest categories. You get one of these big vibrant, beautiful framed butterflies or a crazy insect from Indonesia that's a statement piece.
Wow.
Yeah,
and
people
are purchasing them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got to admit, I don't understand it, but very cool for you guys.
Yeah. You know, I think you need to see it in person with the plants and stuff and, how they're arranged.
It all makes sense. They get back to your wife again.
That started because of the Natural History Museum in London when we visited, and we saw all their displays, and we both fell in love.
All right. Well, tell everybody where they can find you on social media, the interwebs, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so we are at the Maples Apothecary on Facebook, Instagram. Those are our
and
main
then
two.
261 buildings downtown, right by Kiwis.
Yeah, we're across from Kiwis, right next to the Pint House and the wine cellar.
All right. Thank you so much for being with us. I really appreciate it, my man.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And with that, it's time for this. What's Up Yuma Radio is a production of KAWC Colorado River Public Media. We broadcast from the studios in the Matador Activity Center at Arizona Western College in Yuma. We want to thank our engineer, Talon Gonzalez, along with Anthony Ornales, Juan Garcia, Dave Reek, and Cecilia.
You can find out more about KOFA at borderradioaz.org and on the KOFA app. Stay tuned for KOFA's Midday Music.
And on tomorrow's program, we're going to have Rosa Long and as well as Bethany Leeds from Right Off the Ranch.
You can listen to the podcast version of our program and check out past episodes anytime at kawc.org/podcast/What's Up Yuma Radio.
All right. We'll be back tomorrow, guys. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you.
Thanks for listening to KOFA Yuma, whether it is on the radio at 94.7